Hi guys! The film begins by showing SpongeBob together with Mrs. Puff practicing driving. As usual, SpongeBob always fails, eventually causing the boat to catch on fire. In his panic, the boat spins out of control, hitting other drivers. Eventually, the boat crashes into a flower and fruit vendor. To make things worse, the boat ends up riding over a resident who was doing push-ups. The boat even flies through the air and crashes into Mrs. Puff's classroom. SpongeBob's body gets stuck in a wall fan. Mrs. Puff becomes more and more frustrated and upset with SpongeBob since she has taught him for so long, but he still hasn't learned how to drive. As a result, her eyes become sore and red, and she plans to kick SpongeBob out of her class. At that moment, Mrs. Puff sees a flyer fly into her face. Upon reading it, she finds information about a foreign student exchange program. This is when Mrs. Puff gets the idea to get rid of SpongeBob through that exchange program, as it could be her way out. SpongeBob is then told about the exchange, where a student from a magical land named Clopnot wants to learn how Mrs. Puff teaches driving. She plans to do a student swap with someone from Clopnot, but first she must find a student to send there. Mrs. Puff begins to trick and provoke SpongeBob into wanting to join the program. Hearing that, SpongeBob takes the bait and immediately volunteers himself for the student exchange. After SpongeBob keeps begging to go, Mrs. Puff agrees. SpongeBob becomes extremely happy and hugs her. Meanwhile, Mrs. Puff sticks an ID paper to SpongeBob's face, shoves his body into a box, and kicks him into a delivery boat that takes him far, far away. The journey is full of twists, turns, and danger. Eventually, SpongeBob arrives in Clopnot, which turns out to be a countryside-like area with a very natural environment far from the city. SpongeBob lands in mud and panics as his ID paper gets covered in it. The mud ends up splashing onto someone's face. It turns out to be SpongeBob's new instructor. The instructor grabs the paper, throws it into the mud, and retaliates by splashing mud onto SpongeBob's face. Then, the instructor immediately takes him to the driving course. Back at Mrs. Puff's place, the delivery boat that sends SpongeBob has returned. Inside, Mrs. Puff is genuinely thrilled. Her annoying student is finally gone. She immediately tears up SpongeBob's ID. Just then, the exchange student arrives, his face covered in mud. His name is Captain, learning to drive, Mrs. Puff tells him to adjust his mirrors, but Capricorn ends up eating them. Despite his wild, animal-like behavior, surprisingly, he is a better driver than SpongeBob. Capricorn drives the boat smoothly on the road. He avoids hitting pedestrians, which surprises Mrs. Puff, especially when crossing the road. He handles the boat with great care. Mrs. Puff is once again amazed by Capricorn's skills. She laughs for the first time after so many failures with SpongeBob and praises Capricorn's perfect driving. Back in Clubhouse, SpongeBob is now allowed to take a test drive. Here's where things get hilarious. The instructor teaches SpongeBob to drive using the power of sea cows. Though weird, SpongeBob tries to remain calm, even though he's terrified. When he presses the gas pedal, his leg trembles. The sea cow is driven using carrots as motivation. When braking, the carrot is hidden so the cow stops. After checking everything, the panicked SpongeBob stomps the gas pedal, speeding uncontrollably. As usual, he causes chaos in the village. Houses are destroyed as he passes. Luckily, the instructor stays calm despite the disasters. SpongeBob accidentally helps an old lady from being robbed. When his vehicle nearly crashes, he hits the gas again and ends up flying onto someone's rooftop. His vehicle crashes and gets stuck. SpongeBob begins to cry. Every time he tries to learn to drive, he always fails. But for the first time, his failure is praised by the instructor because compared to the other students and villagers, SpongeBob drives better. The instructor praises him as a genius. Not only that, the instructor gives SpongeBob a turnip. Inside the turnip is a message saying SpongeBob has officially earned a top-notch driver's license. SpongeBob is thrilled. The instructor applauds, and even the sea cow claps with its milk. Everyone in the village joins in to celebrate SpongeBob's graduation from driving school. Back at Mrs. Puff's place, she gives a surprise to Capricorn for earning his license in just a few days. She hugs him before he returns home, telling him he can visit any time. She's sad to lose her best student. Capricorn says goodbye. After he leaves, Mrs. Puff's expression changes. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. She thinks it's Capricorn, but no, it's SpongeBob. SpongeBob proudly shows Mrs. Puff that he has passed his driving test and now has a license. Mrs. Puff is almost in disbelief. To prove it, SpongeBob invites her to watch him drive. 2 minutes later, they're both in the boat, trembling in fear. SpongeBob still can't control the boat, causing chaos for others on the road. He speeds toward an active volcano, and the steering wheel comes off. They fall into the fiery crater, but Capricorn arrives just in time. Calmly, he detaches his own steering wheel and jumps into SpongeBob's boat to reinstall it. Capricorn slams on the brakes, saving them from the lava.